Chris, I know Chris told me to keep it to about 3.5, 4 minutes, but there is no way that I can do that. He saw my Hall of Fame speech and he should have known better. So I had the distinction of, I think I'm the only person that actually played against the Dick Cooke team that was he coached in college, played for Dick and also coached for Dick. So I don't know if there's anybody else that can claim that. I was here for 11 years as the SID working with him. After that, he coached with him for 3 years. So I had 17 years with Dick, almost half of his time here at Davidson. And, it's just, I was very fortunate to have that time with him. I know that a lot of people out here are going to expect me to throw out a bunch of numbers and stats. That's my thing, right? I'm the baseball stats guy. I was a math major, just like Happy Cotton here. We were both math majors. So, I know a lot of the stats throughout the years. We got to know the history. But I can tell you about, we can talk about the 28 years as a head coach, 29 as a collegiate head coach, 35 years on staff. I can talk about, 590 wins at Davidson, 601 overall. I can talk about the all-conference players he had, academic all-district, all-region, all-Americans, academic all-Americans. I can talk about all that, but I'm not going to. I'm here to talk about something else. I want to talk about Dick Cooke and his amazing ability to build relationships with people. That's the hallmark of the man. That's what built that program up during his time here, with those relationships. And it's not easy to keep players happy. If you got 10 players at any one time, they're going to have a spot in the lineup. And there are 30 or more guys on a roster. That math doesn't add up for everybody being happy. Everybody wants to play. But Dick did a great job in making everybody feel a part of the team. They were a part of the team. He worked with everybody, wanted everybody to be the best player they could be. And if they didn't get on the field so much, well, that was part of it. But everybody had a role. And the people that are here today are a testament to that because, not everybody here played a lot. It didn't matter if you were a starter, last guy off the bench. He worked with you to make the best player you could be. And he always had your back. He would support you. He knew when to back off and let you figure things out on your own. He knew when you needed some encouragement, some support. You needed some extra BP when you weren't hitting very well. He'd take the L screen out between home and first base and throw pitches to you so you could get the feel of staying back and not lunging and hitting the ball the other way, get your swing back. That was always very important. But he also knew when you needed a kick in the ass. He was not going to let things slide. He wanted you to play the game the right way. You might hit a long fly ball to center field. You think, I got all of that. That one's gone. You're watching it. You're pimping it. You're enjoying it. And then you see the center fielder running, sprinting back to the fence. You're wondering, what is he bothering doing that for? And then you see the ball land on the track, and you think, I got to bust it to get to second base just to get a double. You slide in, you're safe. Hey, that's great. No problem. And then you hear Dick's voice from the dugout screaming at you for your lack of hustle. And you're like, oh, that's not good. And then the next guy gets a base hit, you come in, you score a run, okay, no harm, no foul, I still scored. No, he's going to get in your face again and let you know, up close and personal, few choice words, that's not how we play the game. It's not how you treat the game, it's not how you treat your teammates. It's important to hustle out there. That's all hypothetical, by the way. He built relationships outside the team as well. He built relationships with opposing coaches. It was an opposing coach, a coach in the conference that recommended him for the staff on Team USA. And he got that role, and they kept asking him back because he built relationships with those people. He's played the Olympics twice. He's a pitching coach for Team USA college team that had future Hall of Famers on it. And they kept bringing him back. He built relationships with guys like Tommy Lasorda, Frank Robinson, Omar Minaya, the guys who were GMs that made the decisions for Team USA. And it's because he built those relationships, they kept wanting to have him back. He was well respected throughout baseball, all levels, throughout the spectrum of baseball. He also had the respect and built relationships with umpires. I know that's not easy to do in his role, but he did. You think about when he went through his accident, and he had to work so hard to get back on the field and do what he loved. The umpires knew that he didn't have the mobility to get out there when he needed to argue with them, so they came to him and let him just chew their head. And they would stand there and say, yes, it didn't matter if Dick was right or not, but they took their abuse, and then they went back to the position, and the game went on. Because he built relationships with even the umpires. And I look out here, I see a lot of guys who are back to honor Dick, young and old. Some guys are here who didn't even play for Dick. They predate when Dick got here. And why are they here? Well, it's going to be partly because, okay, he has some old teammates that they want to see and catch up with, but he's built relationships with the alumni. The Davidson Baseball family, very important. And in making that a strong family. we have a lot of wins and losses throughout his 28 years here. You know, we can talk about those. We can talk about, you know, there's some big wins, like Georgia Tech, #1 team in the country, 1994. You know, there's some agonizing losses, like his first year we lost to Wichita State in Hawaii. Sorry, Dave. And, you know, there's even a tie. There was one tie in there against St. John's in 1999. And we will never talk about that game again. No, we will not talk about that. So, you know, but all those things, and then you talk about, we have to talk about 2017, right? I mean, that is the pinnacle right there. I mean, A-10 tournament champions, first NCAA regional for the program. You go to North Carolina, then you win 2 games at Carolina and Chapel Hill. Amazing run. And then you go to Texas A&M, give them everything they could handle. And it was important for everybody, not just the guys on those teams. It was important for the entire Davidson Baseball family for that. I mean, I wish I had been there to witness it personally, up close and personal. But I got to enjoy that from afar. And yeah, that's part of being the Davidson family. Everybody's going to remember that for a long time. The rest of their lives, that run was magical. It was very important for the Davidson Baseball family. And I can't talk about family without talking about Dick Cooke and his family. And his wife, Susan, who's a whole other story all by herself. And then you got the daughters, Allison, and Lindsay, and Aaron, and I got to witness those relationships up close. I mean, they were my extended family when I was here, and I thank them for everything that they did for me. They did a lot for me. Dick brought me back after I graduated as a coach, gave me my first job, you know, so I appreciate everything that family did for me, you know, and all those relationships and the impact he's had on so many lives. That is the true legacy of Dick Cooke. Thank you, Dick. Thank you for everything. Congratulations on the time.